if you follow astrology, I'm sure you already know, and if you don't, let me be the one to inform you. Saturn is moving into Aries, and this is a really big deal. And in this video, I'm going to give you a little breakdown of that, but there's one specific flavor that I don't hear anyone else talking about of the astrology of this shift, and it is the fact that this is happening on Friday the 13th. A Friday the 13th when Venus is in Pisces, and a Friday the 13th when Black Moon Lilith is in Sagittarius. If you're lost in the names and the symbols and the archetypes, let me break it down for you. Saturn is the Lord of Karma, the planet with all the rings. It goes into signs for a couple of years, but as it moves its way through, it's teaching us lessons in self-mastery about where we structure our lives, what we value, and what we take action on building-wise for our lives, whether it's unconscious or not. Saturn moving into Aries, away from Pisces, where it's been for the last couple of years, is a shift from Pisces, watery, unconscious, kind of easy to get foggy and lost about what structures you, about what you're building towards, but not even future momentum. What is the structure that holds you? What have you built your life around? Coming out of this fogginess into the sign of Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, it's leadership, it's initiative, it's fire, and it's young fire energy. So I won't spend much more time on that, except to say that this is bringing us into the leadership of ourselves. It's an opportunity for us to see who we are as the leadership of our own life, for better or worse. Now, what I want to remark on is the fact that, again, this is happening on Friday the 13th. Friday is a Venus day. Friday is ruled by Venus. Archetypally, Venus is the planet of abundance, of luxury, of having wealth and beauty. It's basically the finer things. Venus isn't about struggle and survival. Venus is about the arts and things that happen when the base minimums are already met for a human's existence. It's the beyond, it's the sustenance, it's the more. It is also about the base. But on Friday, Friday the 13th, it's also a witch day. Friday the 13th is like the day of magic. It feels like the day of a fuck you to the patriarchy, as it is, because there's this superstition around it. There's this black cat magic stereotyping feeling around it that, quite frankly, those that practice earthen magic, those that would actually consider themselves witches, not in the religious sense, but in the sense that you know that you are magic and that the earth is you are, and the earth is an extension, that magic is the world is magic. So also Black Moon Lilith, an asteroid, being the archetypal repression, that which is cast out, that which is not allowed, the shame, is in Sagittarius, which is the sign of the archer, the arrow, pointing towards wisdom, culture, learning, moving beyond what is known into more direct experience, more widened experience of what the world has to offer. So this means loosening the veil of shame, being willing to explore. And on Friday the 13th, with all of these things combined, Venus also in Pisces, by the way, adds this general flavor to me of specifically taking off this box, trap, dome, chained set of rituals or dogmas or thoughts or conceptions about what connecting to spirituality is, about what connecting to yourself is, about what God is, about how you can be intimate with God, who and what structures you need for that. It's none. And how you're allowed to express yourself as a sovereign, earth-based, magical human being. It's incredible. So all of this to say that astrology doesn't work like, on this day your life is going to drastically change and everything's going to be totally different. Saturn doesn't work like that. Time doesn't work like that. And sure, there's things that are instant, but not something this magnitude. However, a day like this is meant for marking the time. It's meant for ritual. It's meant for celebration. It's meant for intentional connection. A day like this is meant to connect to yourself and say, what part of me have I always wanted to structure my life around? Like, who am I that I've always wanted to be? And I've never given myself the opportunity to be and exist as that. And it's not about figuring out how you're going to change everything. It's just about considering making the commitment to actually love yourself and give yourself a chance to live the life that you could lead for yourself. And there's so many conversations of fear and all this stuff in the background, but that's why I bring up all these badass women archetypes. Venus is not just some fluffy whatever. It's saying that, like, listen, yeah, survival is great and all that stuff, but and also life is worth living because of all of the good stuff about it. Like, that deserves to have focus shown on it. And with Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius, again, it's saying, why do we hold ourselves back from experiencing anything, especially something new that we've not yet allowed ourselves to reach for in this life, to go for, to lead ourselves down a path that's our own instead of being led. And that's what this whole thing is about. Saturn moving into Aries, where Neptune is, and I'm going to make a video specifically about February 20th because that, to me, is the bigger ritual, and I've got something personal, huge planned for that. But this time, this moment, this is like considering yourself. Considering yourself so that when Saturn conjuncts Neptune on February 20th, when these two big deal planets, Neptune the subconscious, Saturn the structure, meet, they're on the same page. So at this moment in time, it's about allowing the structure to start to be informed by the dream. Neptune is already in Aries. Neptune, the planet of the unconscious. It's already in Aries. It's just been getting a taste for the last week or so, 2 weeks. And it's just been getting a taste of that. Neptune and Saturn have been doing this dance for a couple of years where they've come together, they split apart, they come together. They're teasing at, they have been, the idea of like something isn't foundationally right. And this is obvious in the macrocosm, in the world at large outside of us. To me personally, it's clearly obvious what it is in my life. Because I have so much of me that demands sovereignty. That the parts of me that are complacent and comfortable with being led along with the pack can't survive it anymore. Like, they cannot survive the inner demand for autonomy anymore. So this whole dance of Saturn has been forcing me to confront all of the ways in which I still have been not catching my unconscious, the subconscious, the programming, the matrix, the powers that be, the blah, 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 whatever you want to call it, the devil in the deal that I didn't know that I made because I wasn't paying attention for many reasons I won't go into. But the point is, Saturn, which rules all of that, is out of Pisces, which rules all of that. And now we're moving into fire. We're moving into fire with these badass archetype women, with these badass feminine archetypes, saying, let's change the structure to support more of the feminine things. The things like, not even just art and creativity, but like self-care. Like, I mean, the concept of like, I must deprive myself to totally benefit this, or how am I going to prove my worth without self-depletion? Totally backwards structurally. And what nurture brings to the table is like, what would support me in being able to have the capacity to lead myself. So Venus and Black Moon Lilith are asking you to look at where we've repressed our own need to matter. In our body, soul, heart, mind, everything. Less of the mind, more of the body and the soul and the heart and the passion. The passion. Because this is Aries, and Aries has a reason it wants to move. Aries has a reason for incarnating. Aries has a reason for going to war if need be. But Aries leads from some place. So is it a place that's corrupt? A value system that you never got to choose for yourself? A bottom line or a set of rules that you never got to agree to, that were just laid out before you and told that you had to comply? Or are you going to take this opportunity to consider some crafting, heartfelt, ritual, spoken word, intention, anything, however it personally connects to you, but the point is to connect with this energy that's available to us and to acknowledge that sacred map, to acknowledge the sacred celestial map that guides us all, whether we're aware of it or not. And it doesn't make our decisions for us. It doesn't change our lives for us. It sets and resets scenes. And we either adjust accordingly or not, depending on whatever we want. Because you can do whatever you want to do. Nobody's forcing you. But there are people that will take advantage of your consent and compliance to just going with the absolute flow. This is about learning to direct the flow towards your ends. And possibly walking that razor's edge of like, am I making sure that I'm not becoming all the things that I don't want to become? In other words, with consent and consideration for any and all other beings involved. And with that, I think I've said enough. So, I am stoked for this changeover. I'm stoked to make another video again about the upcoming conjunction of Neptune and Saturn on February 20th. So be on the lookout for that. And I'm going to link in this description box a couple videos for other astrologers that I deeply respect and sincerely appreciate their insight on things, because I don't have the capacity with my two small children to regularly make astrology updates. But I will gladly share the work of those astrologers that my values align with, that I appreciate tuning into too. So anyways, thanks for listening to my ramble. Y'all have a great, beautiful, magical, wonderful, amazing, spiritually connected experience of a day. Mwah.